The business of beauty. And what a business it's become. Almost everywhere you turn, estheticians are opening up new salons, or they're places where you are promised that you can get all sorts of body parts removed, reduced, expanded, whatever you want, you can get it. From luxury facials to non-invasive body sculpting, estheticians and aesthetics in South Africa is a billion-rand industry. CEO and founder of Skin Renewal, Victor Snyders, is here with us to tell us more. Are you a billionaire just yet,
Absolutely
Victor?
not, Pabi. It's not that simple.
It's not that simple, absolutely, in business terms. But in aesthetics terms, can you talk me through what's happening? Because it feels as if there was a time where it was almost hush, 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 that nobody talked about anything they really did to their faces. And now we're in the space where people are literally showing you when they get sculpture put in your face. So talk to me about this period.
Absolutely. We have seen an enormous shift over 20 years. South Africa was always a very conservative country.
Yes.
And anything that you were doing was deemed to be cheating. And people didn't talk about that. That has changed over 20 years. I think certainly the internet, social media has been responsible for that. It's been a trend that we've seen all over the world, except that we came from an even more conservative base. Culturally, it's not an easy thing to talk about. But people are getting used to it, and they are discussing that. And as the younger generations come through, everything changes.
Oh, I love the younger generations. I feel like they unlock the world for the rest of us. And so your view on how it's grown in South Africa and become a force today. You started your journey as an architect, but then was pulled into this wellness and aesthetics world. Tell us a little bit about your background and getting into this kind of business.
Well, the easiest way to use it is the line from the 10cc song, The Things We Do for Love.
Right.
Well, I started as an architect. I earned my living for 25 odd years in the commercial property sector, shopping centres particularly.
Okay.
Worked myself to the bone. It cost me a marriage. And so I had to start again in my 40s, in my mid-40s. Yeah. And I met Dr. Maureen Allen. And Dr. Maureen had been doing a little side hustle from home. And we decided that we would not only spend our lives together, but we would do a business venture together. So we started a business afresh when we were, 45 years old.
That is quite amazing. What would you say to other 45-year-olds or 40-year-olds or even 50-year-olds right now who are sitting around going, oh, this is it, I'm done, there's nothing more I can do, I've expired?
You know, I don't think the path of entrepreneurship is for everybody.
Yeah.
You've got to have absolutely zero fear. I was telling some of my staff yesterday, I worked in corporate and I resigned my corporate job without having another job. I was newly married. I had one kid already and a second kid on the way. And you have to have a total belief that you can survive. And weather just about anything. And we've had to weather a few things over the last 20 years.
Right.
So it's not a path for everyone. But if it's something that you feel is in your blood, do it.
So these aesthetics businesses that are popping up all over, and we're going to talk about yours specifically in just a moment. I just wonder what you think about the fact that anyone who paints your nails can now say they can do a age reversing facial as well. If you know where I'm going with this, talk to me about
Absolutely.
What you think.
So in the first instance, one has got to look at where did this industry come from.
Okay.
If we go back 30 years, and the aesthetic industry worldwide is probably only around 30 years old.
Really?
In terms of aesthetics, well, the thing that really kicked aesthetics off was the discovery of botulinum toxin.
The Botox.
Botox, which is a brand.
Okay.
There are now nearly 10 brands around the world that do botulinum toxin, but Botox was the very first one.
Weren't the Marilyn Monroes involved in that? There was nothing.
Nothing.
At that time.
So-
That's very interesting.
Botox was really discovered around 1990. It was
Okay.
used as a drug to treat blepharospasm, a tick,
What's that?
a tick in the eye,
Okay.
a twitch,
Yeah.
involuntary movement, and was used to stop the muscles having that involuntary twitch. And they saw that one of the side effects was a reduction of wrinkles in the area around where that muscle was.
Amazing.
And a complete new industry started out of that.
Yeah.
Now, prior to that, you could either go for a basic facial to a beautician, or you could go for a facelift to a plastic surgeon.
Right, right.
And there was nothing in between.
Yeah.
The aesthetic industry grew in this space that existed between these two extremes. So what we've seen is that it's been influenced by the two ends of where it started.
Okay.
So on the one side, one has got to remember that botulinum toxin is a scheduled drug. It is a Schedule 4, Schedule 5 drug, can only be administered in South Africa by a medical professional. And some of those medical professionals also started working with the technology, the lasers. There are all kinds of technologies that are there, that cool, that heat, that use radio frequency, that use sound and whatever.
Sound
Absolutely.
for your skin?
It's a vibration. So if you put on that bass drum,
Yes.
you're going to feel it. You can feel the vibration.
Okay, hang on. Because now I want to try it. What does the sound frequency promise to do, and how would it work?
So when something operates at a very, very low frequency, it creates a vibration.
Right.
And a vibration can affect things below the skin.
Right.
It can affect how the blood flows. It can affect how the muscles react. So you're combining sound, temperature, either heat
Yes,
or cold,
yes.
as well as invasive treatments, can have all sorts of effects. Our industry is one of the fastest growing industries in terms of technological development
Yes.
in the world.
Wow.
It works as fast as cell phone technology.
Wow.
No one is still walking around with a Nokia or an Ericsson phone.
And soon no one will be walking around with their face that they were born with.
Well, I don't think that the idea is to change the face.
Yes.
What really is looked for is that people try to slow down the aging process. And one has got to understand that this is a tool. It is no different to makeup or mascara or anything else that people do. The amount of money people spend on their hair, is that hair 100% natural?
It's
The color,
outrageous.
the
Yeah,
shape,
yeah.
whatever. So what we
Are
do
you
is,
calling me out here with my fake locks, Victor?
I think they're gorgeous.
Thank you. But yes, absolutely, it is a tool.
It's a tool.
I wonder what you think of that. That society pushes, urges, forces women to avoid the signs of aging.
Well, I think one of the things is that as a species, we are living longer. In the old days,
Yeah.
my generation, you went to school, you went to university, you got a job, you retired at 65, and then you moved off to God's waiting room to wait for your grand departure.
Yes.
And that would happen maybe at 70 or 75.
Right.
We're now seeing people living till 90. The other thing that's changed is, once again, in the old days, marriage was till death do us part.
Okay.
What we are seeing now is that 50% of all people that are getting married are getting divorced. And we are having 2 or 3 lives during our lifetime. We have multiple families, multiple relationships. Now, when you've got to re-enter the dating pool when you're 45
Sure.
or 50, you've got to separate yourself from the herd. You need to be brighter, smarter, better looking, better preserved in order to become a commodity
Sure.
that will go. So I think it's the function of the way that people have reacted and society has changed. when you see a couple that has been together for 50, 60 years,
Yeah.
and they're both in their 60s, they really don't worry too much
Sure.
what the one looks like or
Absolutely
the other
sure.
one looks like. But
Unless she really wants to.
unless she really wants
Yeah. Or she's on Housewives of... What was that one? Was it Pretoria? Yeah.
to. We've had the housewives of
Housewives
just
of
about every city.
everywhere. So when then, in this context, a 22-year-old comes to get filler or to get Botox, what do you say?
Well, one of the shifts that we've seen when we started this business 20 odd years ago,
Yes.
the average age of our patients, the median age across all patients, was around 39 or 40.
Okay.
Today it's around 32, 33. So we have seen much younger people doing things. Now, part of that is social media,
Yes.
but it's interesting when you talk to the youngsters, they are no longer trying to reverse, they are trying to prevent.
So that's the 32, etc.
And even the ones in their 20s.
So the 20s do come.
Well, what they are saying is not take away these wrinkles and take away the sagging, because they don't have those.
Yes.
What they're saying, what can I do to prevent that happening to me?
Oh, I see.
I don't want to land up being like my gran or like my mom, and I want to start doing treatments now. The other thing is that knowledge is now available because of social media and the internet.
So what would you do as a preventative measure with someone who's 23?
So number one is you've got to start looking at skin health, the
Okay.
actual health of the skin. The skin is like a dashboard in your car.
Yeah.
Very often when something is wrong on the dashboard and a light goes on, you don't solve it by unscrewing the light bulb. That's treating the symptom. What you need to do is find out what is the cause of the light coming on the dashboard.
Okay.
And when we have something that is going wrong with our skin, there is something fundamentally wrong with our health. And what we need to start doing is looking at those things. Now, it could be the way you're caring for your skin, but it could be your diet, it could be your lifestyle, it could be sun exposure, it could be all sorts of things. It could be hormonal. There are medical reasons behind why the skin
Does
goes
what
wrong,
it does.
Does what it
Yes.
does.
Yes.
So you need to start by looking at good skin health. That means you're putting on the right kind of products in the morning, you're using sunscreens, you're putting on the right kind of products at night, you're not going to bed with your makeup on if you're a lady or a guy. Those
I
things.
don't know how I've slipped back into that habit. It is ingrained in me not to do it. But I'm so finished after parenting and working and doing clients. I just fall asleep.
You need to be given the right advice. If it becomes a chore, but when you build it into a habit, then it improves. But just home care is only a part of it.
Yes.
I speak with analogies a great deal.
Okay.
So one of my favorite analogies is comparing what we do with skin to motor cars.
Okay.
What the doctors do with botulinum, with toxins, with fillers, is they are very often the panel beaters.
Okay.
They knock out the dents, they get the car looking good again,
Gotcha.
but fundamentally they are not dealing with the engine.
Right. Right.
Okay? We are seeing a shift. So at one point, doctors who were doing aesthetics were doing injectables and not looking at skin health. And we've seen over the course of the last 3-4 years, internationally, a very, very big move into a holistic way of looking at the skin.
Okay.
But even if you've got a good mechanic who's looking after the skin and a good panel beater, you still have to do certain
Yes.
things yourself.
But do they have to be the cost of a very small car?
Like all things, as it grows, I remember the very first mobile phone that I bought.
Yes.
Okay, it cost more than a cell phone would cost today.
Yes.
And all I could do was phone someone on it.
Yeah.
It was also very large. As these industries grow, the prices will drop over time.
And especially if made scientifically, if created, whatever it is, in South Africa. There's a leaning to that, or what?
So it's not that easy. The amount of research, the South African aesthetic industry is 0.5%
No.
of the world.
Okay.
We are on the world stage, our aesthetic industry is
Hang on, that actually sounds like a lot.
it's tiny.
It's tiny, but we're there.
Well, we're on the map,
Yeah.
but if you consider that it's on population and all of those things, so at this point in time, it is still very, very small. And to invest in an industry for something that is that small
Okay.
on world terms, it requires massive amounts of money and huge amounts of time.
So that's fine then, because we see all of these things that are made from proudly South African products, aloe vera, rooibos, or whatever it is, and you're saying perhaps
They have a place.
Okay.
But remember that those are cosmetics. Those are not necessarily medical grade technology. Okay?
So
Because
so what skincare products is it what you're saying is technology and approved, or is cosmetics?
well, the two are separate. Cosmetics is what you can buy in a department store or in a chemist. It's over the counter. It's OTC.
So even if that is a skin wash, or even if it is what is everyone using now? Serum.
you walk in
Yeah.
and you buy the product straight.
Okay.
There is no restriction to
Okay,
it.
got it.
A medically graded product
Yes.
has to be prescribed for you and is available through doctors. So there would be a consultation and you would be put onto the products that were right for you in combination with the treatments that are right for you.
Okay.
Remember one thing, that for us to stay abreast of the pace of change within the aesthetic industry is a full-time job for all our senior people.
Of course.
I travel extensively. Dr. Maureen travels extensively just to stay in
You
touch.
got to keep up.
The public only gets what's in the marketing brochure.
Right.
And in the marketing brochure,
So you-
everybody's product works.
So you know what's coming up next. You know the kind of places we're going.
And then we'll spend about 3 to 6 months of
Yeah.
trials before
Yeah.
we even decide whether a product actually does what it says on the box.
What are the most, maybe give me a top 5 of the most common treatments that people come in for?
Invariably, injectables is still a very strong driving force.
Okay, so the Botox.
Botox and fillers.
Fillers.
They are both injectable products, but they're injected very differently and have a different kind of result.
Yeah.
Then we do a lot of chemical peels,
Okay.
and there are probably around 15 different types of chemical peels that one can be given, and they are not equal.
Yes.
Not every chemical peel does everything for
Yes.
every skin.
Yes.
It's got to be very specific.
Yeah.
Then there's the use of lasers.
Okay.
This was an area that was a challenge for us because for the first 12, 13 years in our industry, we could not get lasers that we could use on dark skin because it would damage the dark skin.
I thought it was the acid. I was so scared of doing a peel because we were told very early on. I mean, this is not necessarily good. It's quite damaging, can scar dark skins.
Not if it's done medically. If it's bought on the street or over the counter, as the consumer, you will not know exactly what is in that and whether the advice that you were given on how to use it was the correct advice.
That's amazing.
And then you can damage yourself.
So lasers now.
Lasers, we now use lasers that we bring in specifically from Brazil
Okay.
through one of our distributors that are designed specifically for dark skin.
What would happen with the other ones?
You can burn. You can create burns, you can create scars, you can create very serious pigmentation problems. Because pigmentation, one of the causes of pigmentation is inflammation. And if you're using the wrong laser on the wrong skin, there are side effects.
I can't remember what it's called, but there's sand in it and it exfoliates.
Microdermabrasion.
Microdermabrasion saved my life. Victor.
It's a very good treatment because what it does is it takes off.
But I can't find it anywhere now because now
Come to Skin Renewal.
we
still use it every day.
You're joking.
Every day.
Because now the acid peels have advanced.
You see,
that's amazing.
Very often people want to do what's new.
Okay.
But what's new is not necessarily always better than what is old. It is just marketed a lot more aggressively.
Very interesting. I've got 2 questions for you. We're sitting with the co-founder and CEO of Skin Renewal, Victor Snyders. This one is from David, who says, is there a black market aesthetic industry operating where lasers, injectables, and skin treatments are done without regulation? If so, what are the health consequences for such?
Great question. South Africa's laser technology is not regulated nearly well enough. So we are seeing a number of pieces of equipment being brought in that have not been correctly calibrated, correctly set up. The vast majority of those are coming out of the Far East. They are also much cheaper and they are potentially dangerous. And there needs to be better regulation, particularly on those lasers, because you can seriously damage people, especially because of the diversity of our population.
Absolutely.
You know, if you're working in Norway, just about everyone has exactly the same skin tone. Yeah. In South Africa, not the case at all.
Hence Brazil is such a great comparative country to ours.
It was. And also because climatic conditions are similar in Brazil.
Okay, yes.
Whereas if we look at look at dark American skin, the climatic conditions are substantially different. And just because it works on a dark skin in the US doesn't mean it works on African skin.
Gotcha.
African skin is tough.
Gotcha.
It's a lot stronger. It's been battered. It's facing the sun. It's also had a different dietary history.
Yes.
So one has to find the exact right products and technology to use for where you're going to do it.
Gaugelo says Botox can limit the ability to fully express emotions through facial expressions, Pabi, potentially impacting the subtle non-verbal cues that facilitate connecting in relationships. We need original expressions.
She is quite right, but the sentence can be completed.
With?
If it's not injected properly.
Right.
So when it's injected and it's just done on a formula basis, you can freeze a face.
Yeah.
Okay? You can watch my forehead. Okay? I've had Botox.
You've had Botox, yeah.
And my eyebrows can go up.
And what about my forehead? What do you think?
Yes. you've had Botox. Absolutely. But yet your eyebrows move.
Yes, they do.
Okay?
I have expression.
So what has happened is that a number of the wrinkles, and I've been watching you now for
yes.
while we sat and for half an hour.
What have I had?
Before.
What do you think?
Remember, I'm the guy who looks after the business.
Okay.
If Dr. Maureen was here, she would do a full skin consult for you.
That was a good cop out. I like that very, very much. And I'm very interested in coming to see Skin Renewal, as I'm sure people will be after this conversation. So how do we get hold of you?
Skin Renewal SA on social media and Skin Renewal COSA on the web. We are also the only medically aesthetic business in South Africa that has a national footprint, with 7 clinics in the Cape, 7 in Johannesburg, 3 in Tshwane, and 3 in KZN.
Well, I mean, I think after this, people will be more curious, will be more understanding of how the business works. Working with my doctor has just been so wonderful over the years, because you create a real relationship with one another. And so, you know, my weight goes up and down, for example. And so she knows exactly what to do. Absolutely. When it's up, when it's down. And it's an incredible relationship. So thank you very much to my Dr. Baba. But you are on social media, and it was very interesting speaking to you. Thank you very much.
A lot of educational material on YouTube.
Okay.
that we put out.
That you put out.
Absolutely. 'Cause
Brilliant.
we have to educate the consumer.
Brilliant. Thank you for coming to chat to us.
Greatest of pleasure.